Welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite white nail polishes. Before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to see this series on my channel, and if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so you don't miss out on future uploads in the series. So it's been requested multiple times over the past few years that I do a favorite color series, but it feels like a lot of pressure for some reason. I'm not so good at picking favorites, especially when there are so many choices. Like, I keep teetering between, do I want this one, or oh, do I like that? But you know what? I told myself I can do it this year, and then in a couple years, if I have different favorites, I can just redo the series again. So we've got a little bit of a variety, some mainstream, some boutique, some mostly indie, and all sorts of different finishes. And like I said, I only chose 10. So I'm gonna tell you about them. We're gonna look at up close bottle shots, and I will show you swatch photos and tell you why I love them so much. And I thought it would make sense to start with white because it's winter time when I'm starting the series, and that is one of my favorite colors to wear when it's snowy outside. So let's start with my mainstream pick first. It is not going to be a surprise to any of you. My first favorite comes from OPI, and it's called Funny Bunny. Funny Bunny is a white Girly polish. It builds up to pretty good opacity in 3 coats. So this polish is absolutely amazing. If you're on the hunt for a white Girly, you need this. It is just, to me, a staple in every polish lover's collection. I have other polishes that I've purchased with the same kind of idea, and none of them have this good of a formula. Funny Bunny built up to full opacity for me in 3 coats. It's still got a really squishy finish, but it is incredibly even. Sometimes these white Girlies, I feel like I need to go on with thicker coats, or they won't build up. This one does build up, and it still has that squishy look. It is perfect on its own. I think it's a beautiful white manicure or pedicure, but it also is wonderful layered with toppers. I haven't tried sandwiching it too much, but underneath other things, I think it is amazing. So highly recommend Funny Bunny from OPI. I have one boutique favorite. This one comes from Cirque Colors, and it's called Mystic Moonstone. Mystic Moonstone has kind of a like ivory white, like an off-white base with shimmer that shifts blue to purple, but it mostly looks blue most of the time, and that gorgeous scattered hollow sparkle. When I first started purchasing nail polish that was not mainstream, this was one of the first shades that I bought, and it was instant love. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm about halfway done with my bottle. Granted, these Cirque bottles aren't the biggest, but I think that still says a lot. This one just has a gorgeous finished look. It's not necessarily the easiest to work with. It does get a little bit patchy and still shows quite a bit of nail line in 3 coats. But if you wanted that opacity, you could layer it over something like Funny Bunny. And if you didn't mind seeing a little bit of nail line, if that's your thing, this one is so shifty and perfect. I just love the way the shimmer pops against that white base, and that hollow sparkle just makes this one, to me, even more wintry. The next one is one that's probably a little bit difficult to find. This one comes from Lacquer, and it's called Berserker. This one has a kind of gray leaning white Girly base with, I think, very fine, yes, super duper fine scattered holographic pigment, and then multi-chrome flakes that shift red to copper to gold to green, and some blue to purple shifting shimmer. When this is on the nails, it just has kind of a rainbowy effect. I love how the flakes, I just love how the flakes look in this white base. They really pop. They look kind of rainbowy, but because the base is white, this one feels very neutral on the nail while still having a lot of color, if that makes sense. And then between the warm shifts in the flakes, although I do see blue shifts as well, and that shift in the shimmer and the subtle hollow, this one's just very unique in my collection. I'm not honestly the biggest fan of multi-chrome flakes, but in this case, they're done so super well. I wish we would see more Girlies from Lacquer. I know this one's one of their older ones, but I think they do this finish beautifully, and I want more. While we're on the subject of flaky Girlies, this next one's from Cuticula, and it's called Pegasus Wings. Pegasus Wings has a white that leans kind of yellow, but it still looks white. Base with these ethereal, otherworldly iridescent flakes. They are every color you can imagine and almost look kind of pastel. This is an amazing white polish. If you are just like kind of venturing into whites, it's not one of your favorites, I think this one should still be available. And to me, it's everything you want in a white curly polish. It's got tons of those flakes. They are incredibly shifty. It's another one that's just wonderful for winter time. And the formula is beautiful. It definitely needs 3 coats to be fully opaque. I would say that's the case with pretty much all Cuticula flakies, but it is so well worth it. Just the way that the flakes glow in that base, they just feel happy and fresh and like magical. That's the look I'm going for when I wear a white polish, so this one's a winner for sure. This next one's from Girly Bits and it's called Buttcoin. This one I purchased way back in December 2020 and it's got a white base with holographic sparkle and iridescent flakes that shift red to copper. I see purple and blue, and then it's got like a green to gold shimmer. This was one of my first indie whites and it just opened my eyes to how sparkly and wintry they can be. I absolutely love the iridescence in this one. Again, I know it's inspired by toilet paper. This one was inspired by the toilet paper shortage around 2020, but it certainly doesn't feel that way on the nails. It's very fresh and fun and light and just such a happy color. It's another one that feels neutral on the nails, but once you take a closer look and see all of that iridescent flake and all of those shifting shimmers, it just feels more colorful than it appears at first glance. The next one is from Stella Chroma and it is one of their monthly mystery shades. This one's from May 2022, their monthly mystery subscription box. This one has a white base and black flakes. So super simple on paper. You're not going to be able to find this unless you look out in a D-stash, but don't worry, lots of makers have created something similar. Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Rogue Lacquer has one of these. I'm pretty sure Painted Polish has one of these. It's really simple in concept, but to me, this is a staple polish in any black flaky lovers collection. Or if you like white crellies, I think you've got to have one like this. I just think the concept, the white base with the black flakes is so classic. It really gives me like cookies and cream vibes. It looks like an Oreo Blizzard or McFlurry or something, and I absolutely loved wearing this. I think it would skittle well with lots of things. It's perfection. And Stella Chroma does crellies very well. This one was super easy to work with and was opaque in 2 coats for me. There's another Stella Chroma that many of you probably predicted would be on this list. This one is called Coconut Cream. This one has a warm white base with shimmer that shifts red to copper to gold to green to blue. So sometimes on the nail, this one just looks like a white cream, but when you get it in the right lighting, you see a little bit of that iridescent shifting shimmer. And again, it is magical. It actually reminds me of a more opaque with some added shifty shimmer version of Funny Bunny. So if you like OPI Funny Bunny, but you don't shop OPI, then this Stella Chroma Coconut Cream is one I would definitely recommend. It does take 3 coats to build up to full opacity, but once you're done, it just has a smooth, glossy, squishy finish. And like I said, when you catch the light just right and you can see that shifting shimmer, it's glorious. I've worn this on its own. I've worn it under toppers. I've worn it as part of a Skittle manicure. And because of that, I've had this for only a few years and it has a decent fill line already. This one's definitely available as well, so I will link it down in the description box, and this is my reminder to probably pick up a backup. 3 more. The next one comes from Polished for Days, and it is Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman has a gray leaning white base and lots of fiery shifting flakes. There's purple, red, copper, gold, and green. All of these are ones that I typically wear in the winter time. I think Funny Bunny I've worn in the summer. There's one more that I've worn in the summer as well. And then the Cuticula I did wear in the springtime once. But the rest I just imagine wearing when it's snowy outside. And even if you're in a place that doesn't get snow, I think these white polishes bring the snow to you. And that's what this polish does for me. Just the iridescence and the flakes, the way they shift, this polish is chock full of flakes. It's just so beautiful. And I feel like the base color for this one is perfect for snowy weather because it just leans a little bit gray. It's a little bit cool, which just is so appropriate for winter time. And I'll say, although the flakes in here really vary in size, there are some that are larger and some that are smaller, this one is very consistent in the flakies. It's interesting because the cuticula is a similar concept, but the flakies in that one are a lot more irregular in shape, whereas this one, they just feel a lot more uniform. Another one that you all probably predicted would be in this video comes from KB Shimmer, and it's called Baking Spirits Bright. This one has a wonderful crisp, clean white base and then micro glitter that is red and green. Like I said, this is another one y'all probably saw coming. I've had this for a few years and it's almost halfway gone. I wear it every holiday season, regardless of whether it's as a standalone manicure, as an accent nail, part of a Skittle. I have to get this on my nails every year, and I wish KB Shimmer would come out with an entire line of white glitter crellies with these same kind of micro glitters in different colors. That would honestly be a dream. This one's fully opaque in 2 coats. It's really easy to work with, and I love it. I have, I think, 3 or 4, at least 3, maybe 4 white glitter crellies with red and green glitters. They're really similar, but this one is my favorite. I just think the glitters pop so well. I love that they're micro. It just gives this polish a really dainty feel, and it builds up perfectly in 2 coats. It doesn't need a glitter smoother either. Like, it sits really well on the nail. And then my absolute favorite white, so much that I have a backup bottle, comes from Wildflower Lacquer, and it's called Butterbean. This one, maybe some people would argue that it's not a white, but I'm gonna say it's a white because in my memory it's a white, but it's teetering, maybe gray, and it is loaded with shifting shimmer that shifts red to copper to gold to green, and it has holographic pigment in there too. This polish is a white lover's dream. I hope when this made a comeback, that's when I got my backup bottle. I hope when this made a comeback you were able to snag a bottle, because if you weren't, I think you're gonna have a hard time finding this without it being astronomically priced. It's loved for a reason though. The shimmer is so shifty and it is loaded with that shifting shimmer. Sometimes whites aren't formulated the best, but this one really is smooth and easy to work with. It builds up very quickly and it is fully opaque on the nail in 3 coats. I love how the hollow adds some beautiful sparkle, but honestly, the shimmer is the star of the show when it comes to this polish. I just think they create such a beautiful iridescence against this base color. With the hollow, it feels very fairy-like, and for me, this is just one of those feel-good shades. I love it. I'm so glad I have a backup. So those are my favorite white polishes in my collection. Let me know down in the comments, do you love wearing white? If so, what are your favorite whites? Do I need to do some shopping? I hope you all enjoyed this video and that you're looking forward to more videos in this series. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!